Today we're going to be talking about the possible villains for the Flash Season 8's back half. Now we know in Season 8, in the first half of the season, it's going to be more primarily focused on the villain Despero from the comics. Um, but I assume the back half is a different one. So let's talk about the potential villains. Starting out, we have Quicksilver. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. What? He's from Marvel, he's not from DC. See, how would he work on a TV show like this? Well, here's the thing. Quicksilver, has had some references on The Flash. Um, in fact, I actually assume he's closer to the Flash TV show, and he would be perfect for this type of show. As you see, Barry is not the fastest man alive, as even some villains are much faster than him, like Savitar, Zoom, Reverse Flash, and Godspeed. Those villains were clearly much faster than Flash, and when Barry assumes the title of the fastest man alive, he's clearly not the fastest man alive. So alone, Barry, obviously, I think Quicksilver will be a really good foe for Flash. And besides, they could also just make an original villain who takes on the name of Quicksilver, but maybe make him connected to all the forces, or maybe he's from the future, or maybe he's I don't know, like something really exciting and cool. Maybe a threat to Team Flash. Yes, I am sick, so please, my next couple of videos where I have to speak, if the quality is pure shit, deal with it. Number 2 is Ghost Rider. Like I said earlier, Peter, some of the lists are from both DC and Marvel. And obviously, I think Ghost Rider would be a perfect candidate for like the Red Death scenario. The reason I say he'd be a perfect candidate is because, I don't think that they're gonna be using like Batwoman or Green Arrow and using or Batman or characters like that, because one, why would those characters become serial killers? Someone that I do know could be a perfect candidate is Ghost Rider. As technically speaking, you don't know if Ghost Rider is technically a good guy or a bad guy. I mean, Ghost Rider has sometimes been kind of an antagonist to Marvel heroes like Doctor Strange. So maybe he becomes the Red Death. Maybe Ghost Rider or Johnny Blaze gets possessed by the negative Speed Force or the Speed Force or Bloodwork, or maybe he's a psychiatrist who has to talk to like Bloodwork, and maybe at that point some of Ramsey's infections go through Blaze, and eventually the Speed Force hits Johnny, and eventually Blaze transforms into the Red Death, and eventually sees the Flash, Barry Allen, a close friend of his, and sees how bad of a hero he's been, where he's not doing stuff, and eventually he makes a deal with the devil, maybe in this case Despero, to give him the Spirit of Vengeance abilities and eventually become Ghost Rider. Now you could say, wouldn't this work more for a Flash Constantine type villain? Yeah, but he could also just work for a straight up Flash villain. Yeah, like what I just said, imagine how cool it would be to see Ghost Rider on a Flash show, which isn't actually which isn't pulling away from the comics, as in the comics, Barry Allen and Johnny Blaze were merged in the Amalgam universe. So Ghost Rider actually has played a huge part in the Flash. And besides, not to mention, Barry Allen and Iris West's history on the show is actually much like Johnny Blaze and Roxanne Simpson's history in the comics, where Johnny, much like Barry, was orphaned and lived with Johnny living with Roxanne Simpson and Barry living with Iris. before becoming who they really are, living with them for years, developing a good relationship with their adopted parents and adopted family. Now, I don't expect to see the Danny catch Ghost Rider because that just doesn't make sense. That's more akin to like Wally West. I would just see the Johnny Blaze. I think that one would make more sense, or maybe any of the ones that use time travel. I think that's what they could use. So our next candidate is um, let me. Yeah, so I think the thing is that you kind of at times also need to think about the villains, and I think I should have done that at the very least. So I know a lot of people have stated that maybe the Rose or Captain Cold. No, those guys are not going to work that out because you have to make it at least somewhat believable at times and make it that their encounters make sense. The moment you don't, yeah. Number 5 could. No, wait, no, number 3. I don't know why I said number 5. Okay, here's a potential one. Maybe when the forces in season 7 hit random people, maybe they hit villains that are like rogue ripoffs. Like maybe they're trying to rip offs of Captain Cold, Heat Wave, all those characters. Now I know we had Chillblaine in season 7, but I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about maybe the new rogues. Maybe the forces hit them. For those who don't know, the new rogues are very obscure characters. They're some of them are pretty bad, almost all of them, and they also died from by the main rogues. So the ones that we have are Chill. Seriously, that's actually the character's name. Burn. Mr. Magic, Mirror Man, and Weather Witch. We already saw Weather Witch, and besides, I don't think people liked her that much. So I don't assume they're going to be using Weather Witch again. I would assume most people thought Weather Witch was a terrible villain or a terrible character. So I do assume people don't want to see her again. Maybe number 4 on my list would be the Renegades. Now, for those who don't know, the Renegades are basically futuristic cops versions of the Rogues. But instead of having like the Pied Piper and Rainbow Raider, we have the Renegades. It's their Rogues counterparts, so you get a better understanding. Are Captain Cold, Heat Wave, Golden Glider, Mirror Master, Weather Wizard, and Trickster in the top. And the Renegades are known as partly based on their rogue counterparts. They're based their name. They call themselves. I'm gonna give you the members of the Renegades: Commander Cold, Heat Stroke, Golden Guardian, Mirror Monarch, Weather Warlock, Trickster, spelled Trixster. And the top. Yeah, top is the only one that stayed with the same name instead of, at the very least, making a different name. I will say, I think out of all of them, I think the top member of the Renegade looks the best. He looks really cool at times. I say he looks a lot better in the original top. I'm not saying that the original top looked terrible. At least the new one looks a lot better, in my opinion. Let's go with another one. Another Flash villains. Another Flash villain we could potentially see is the Legion of Zoom. Now, the Legion of Zoom are a reverse Flash family that just compiles on the Flash family. Basically, it's just the memberships of Flash villains, and some of the Flash villains are act we did see on the show. So basically, the Legion of Zoom consists of Eobard Thawne, Captain Cold, Golden Glider, Trickster, the top, Gorilla Grodd, Razor. He's a pretty obscure Flash villain. Amunet Black, Ragdoll, oh, the Tornado Twins, I mean Don Allen and Dawn Allen. I'm trying to see if there's any more. Plunder, Peekaboo. I think that's it. I think there's more, but I think there's more. Anyways, we could see them. And the reason I said not the rogues, because the problem with the rogues is that you need to at the very least make it somewhat believable. Because the rogues realistically against the Flash, when you have like Wonder Wizard, Top, and Mirror Master are the only, and maybe even Rainbow Raider, are the only villains that can realistically hold their own. The rest, they're not. So I don't understand why people are saying the rogues. You could say, what about Gorilla Grodd? Well, fortunately, maybe an alternate Gorilla Grodd, maybe that'd be cool. But main one, no. And speaking of a reverse Flash family, my next one could be the Acolytes of Zoom. The Acolytes of Zoom are basically people throughout time getting hit by lightning, getting the powers of the Speed Force, and these villains include Magali, who was an ageless Aztec god in 1502, where she I think was about to slay her before Dawn saved her life, and another one we had Black, or the Human Black. Now, showing strong woman who had the ability of slowing down time, I think. Magali has the ability of manipulating the age, so whatever works. For those who don't know what that is, what's right now hearing, I have no idea what it is. But anyways, I hope it's not too distracting. and then we have Selkirk. He's a Speed Force scholar. I'm not sure what a scholar is, but he scholars the Speed Force, and he's obviously becoming an enemy of Flash. And then finally we have the Top. So yeah. So here's some other villains we could see on season 8. I'm pretty sure we might see maybe we can see dark alternate versions of the Flash, because there are alternate versions of all Flashes, like Barry Allen, Jay Garrick, Wally West, and Bart Allen. Maybe even XS, maybe in the Flash family, where they use brutal, almost Punisher-like methods, but at the same time, it really wouldn't work for this type of show. But it could be cool to see, like, maybe some of these Punisher-like Flash, maybe this Punisher feel Flash family, where maybe the original Flash family going up against another Flash family that is more like the Punisher in that case, where they kill normal innocents. They use gruesome methods. And speaking of Punisher, I would actually like to see Jigsaw on the show. I know Billy Russo on this show. I don't know why. Maybe that's just me, but I would love to see going old Billy Russo. Though I know it's not gonna happen. Sad face. Anyways, what do you guys think? Please tell me in the comments. Who do you guys think is gonna be the main villain of The Flash season 8? Please like this video. Please share the video. Hit that subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.